All right. So, Maximilian Robespierre was heading the Jacobin clubs. He was the leader of Jacobin clubs, and Jacobin clubs were gaining publicity, more popularity as a political club, and they were organizing small struggles against various issues in France. These Jacobin clubs also were known as sans culottes. Sans culotte means literally means without knee breeches. Knee breeches are, in the pants, but in Frankfurt they were using trousers. They called in the trousers below knee there was a band, or a thread, you can say, where you can tie it. Uh, Either it was like a three-fourth until just below the knee, or it was a full trouser, but it has got a thread to tight it, or there was a breech to tighten it there. So, in other words, to say, now you guys are wearing what, balloon pants, whatever, which is until knee it will be big and then it will be tied to the skin. That were the type of trousers during that time in France it was used. We are speaking about 1792 and you are trying to copy it now in 2020. That's another funny story, but still, uh, that was the type of trousers French were using. And Jacobins took as a uniform trousers without that breech, without that twine to tie. So it was a normal trouser, normal pant without any tightness. It's a classical type of pant, and they were using long stripes. Means the cloth they were using was with long stripes. Since it didn't have that breech, knee breeches, culotte or culotte, culotte is when it's plural. They were known as sans culotte, the people without the knee breech. That was the literal meaning of it. So Jacobins were also known as sans culotte. And remember the economic situation, shortage of food grains, rise of price, right? It was existing. It was it's a continuing story. We already spoke about it. The situation was worse. People didn't had enough jobs. They didn't have enough money to buy grains. The amount of food grains was low. Population was more. The price increased, so they couldn't afford the daily meals. So there was big hardship. In 1792, Jacobins planned a revolt angered by the shortage of supply and the rise of price of bread. Understand, like we have rice, Europeans, mainly French, can't survive with bread. Bread is their staple. The rest is support to the main food. So main food is bread. When there is a price rise of bread, it is a big problem for them. So, due to the shortage of supply of bread and the rise of the price of bread, in 1792, Jacobins planned a revolt. In August 10th of 1792, they stormed the palace of Tuileries. Uh, Again, remember, you have to check the spellings. Tuileries is written as Tuileries. It's pronounced as Tuileries. So they stormed the palace of Tuileries, where the king was residing, and they kept the king, hold the king as captive. They put him in prison. Um, I believe that you remember the past stories that he tried to escape. They brought him back, and there was a memorandum. He attacked with the military. So it all angered them, and they were ready to oust him. So they revolted on August 10th. They stormed the palace of Tuileries and they held the king as captive, imprisoned him, put him in jail, and then they held the elections. They said we are going to have a democratic country. So they held elections. All men above 21 years were given suffrage, means right to vote. Everybody, irrespective of how much property he has got, how much tax he is paying. Why? Because Jacobins were the political club of the poor. So they wanted to include everyone. So every man about 21 years of age were given right to vote. Women were excluded again. Okay. And they elected a new assembly. The new assembly they elected was known as the convention. Remember that name? The new elected assembly was known as the convention. It was held by Jacobins, of course, because they were the most popular political club that time. So that's when Jacobins are coming into power and France becomes a republic for the first time. On 21st of September 1792, remember September 1792, 21st September 1792, they declared France as a republic. They abolished monarchy. They said there is no more monarchy. France is going to be a republic. It was run by the democratically elected assembly, and assembly will elect a leader, and he will be ruling on behalf of the assembly, on behalf of the people. That happened in 21st September 1792. In 21st of January 1793, King Louis XVI was sentenced to death for the charge of treason, and Queen Marie Antoinette followed. Treason, I don't know whether you are familiar with the word. Treason is when one is betraying his own country, or who is working against the country. Exactly, betraying the country. That's called treason, or betraying someone. Right. So the King Louis XVI was sentenced to death for treason. Accusation was he demolished the economy, he tried to run away from the responsibilities and so on. So he was guillotined, and later Mary Antoinette also were guillotined. During all this time, Austria and Prussia were trying to support the king or re-establish the monarchy, but they couldn't. So they were involved with Austria, Prussia, and they were involved with Britain, because Britain was a arch enemy of France for a long time, and they had a war with Netherlands and Spain. So France was fighting wars all around its borders, and there is a new democratically elected government in place. Now we will continue with the rule of Jacobin clubs. It was run by Maximilien Robespierre. The rule of Maximilien Robespierre is known in the history as Reign of Terror. That means the rule of terror. That was the period of Jacobins' republic, or Jacobins ruled the Republic of France. Let us see that in a bit detail.